Hello, everyone. I think we're going to get started very soon, just waiting on a couple more people to arrive. So 1 second. Okay, I think we'll get started. Hey, everybody. Nice to see everybody again. We're really excited about this. I have the pleasure of being joined by Andrew Sandwick and Eric Abramovitz. And we have three of our former CMF students playing today, Clarinet Maestro Festival, Noah Jung, Juliana Darby, and Katie Smith. They'll be playing a variety of repertoire, including For an Actor by Shulamit Ron, Spohr Concerto No. 4, and the Copland Concerto. So we're really excited about this, and we think you're in for a treat. So the Clarinet Maestro Festival is about a week-long festival that we started back in July. And, or was it June? No, it was July. And we have been really excited about this and the future that holds for Clarinet Maestro. Our mission is to propagate and promote the philosophies of Yehuda Gilad. We all share this special bond of being his former students, and we believe that through our message, our collective message, we can kind of have his philosophies or share his philosophies with as many people as possible. So accessibility is a big thing with us. We try to open it to as many different backgrounds and levels as possible. And we have many bright plans for the future. So yeah, we're really glad that you guys are here. We are going to get started with, I believe, Andrew Sandwick and Juliana Darby with the Copland Concerto.
Hey, Juliana, you want to just take it from the top and then we'll chat?
Okay, sure. Can I test my mic for you?
Yeah, sure. There's a little bit of an echo.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's from the room. Sorry, right?
Mm.
I don't know. But anyway, I think it's probably fun. Could you maybe move it a little bit further back from where you are? Okay, try it again. That's better. That's good.
Okay, just, you can like cut me off if it gets really bad.
Oh, no, I'm sure it'll be great.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe you want to play, I'll let you play a little bit and then we'll talk, because I know we only have 25 minutes. Okay, let's stop there. Great job. Beautiful playing, as always. Great to see you again. Really, I think you have a beautiful sound. I think the legato is really good. It's a huge, struggle with this piece, or not struggle, but rather a big challenge with this piece. It's really great, and I can definitely hear shape, in your phrasing, and I can tell that you're trying to do, I have an idea of what you're trying to do. I just wish you did more, and at times it just feels like a little bit too kind of straight. And it's almost like, because with this, I mean, it's really just a simple song, right? And if the simple song doesn't have extremely clear intention all the time, it really can it can leave the listener a little bit lost. Particularly with this one, there are certain pieces that I think are really hard to play without the accompaniment, and this is a perfect example. Like this, and like the Brahms sonatas, for example, because the accompaniment really sets up everything. And when I'm listening to an audition or, competition or whatever, especially with a piece, for an audition, for an example, when you're playing orchestral excerpts or concerto by yourself, I want to be able to hear the accompaniment when in my head when I'm hearing the person playing. And at times I didn't necessarily feel like I was, and I'm looking at the piano score right now. I didn't always hear the accompaniment, or at least what you interpreted the accompaniment to be saying and kind of setting you up to do. The technical details I think are really great. We'll talk about the sound and when you get up high in a minute, but overall it's really good. I just wish there was a little bit more intent, and you set up the pacing, because for me this is like one big arc, and then it kind of comes down at the end. And think about really where you want to draw people in and when you can really emote. And it's not all the time. It's very clear planning and intention, I think, is crucial. So you may want to try from the beginning one more time, or at least before you do that, what kind of are you thinking for the beginning in terms of where you want the peak to be? Are you trying to play out intentionally, on purpose, or just what's your kind of thought?
Well, I see it all kind of like stemming from this first motive, the F sharp to E, and everything after that is like kind of like an improvisation on that.
Yeah,
Like
like
taking
developed,
it
yeah.
further. Yeah, so ideally I'd like to shape it based on that idea.
Or like, where do you think the direction of where do you think the goal, what's the goal of the first little phrase? Or what do you think where are you going to eventually, right? You don't have to tell me right now, but just think about that really clearly when you're playing. Or you want to try it?
Sure.
Cool, thanks. Great, way better. It was great. I definitely heard a lot more intention, and the music started to come alive a little bit. Couple things. I think when there are certain notes, like for example, I guess the pick up to measure 12, when you have the tenuto, I think that can be more of an arrival point, and you can kind of build it up a little more. Especially because in the piano accompaniment, or I guess in the orchestra, I don't know what instruments it would be, I can't remember, but it's the first time we hear the right hand. So clearly that note, Copland wanted that note to be important. And then similarly in the third beat of measure 15, that tenuto, or I don't know if I'll be able to demonstrate, but I'll try. And then it kind of like helps you set up it's a different harmony, right? Because On 15, we're at. You know what I mean? It's this kind of like really dig deep into these details. And then when you get up, sorry, one more thing. When you go to the high E in, I guess, pick up to measure 12, make sure you're thinking, we talk about the expression much more church, right? Make sure you're thinking ooh, EU, not E. Ooh, really let the air resonate in your oral cavity. You want to try the beginning one more time, and then maybe we'll keep going. Really clear intent. Oh, sorry, one more thing. I'm sorry I'm talking constantly, but I think you can play a little softer at the beginning.
Okay.
Just so, I mean, I get it. You want to maybe like state the theme, but it's so beautiful. I mean, come on, really milk it. And not very many people are playing, so they won't be mad at you, right? Really, no, really good. It's so much more interesting to listen to. And the music is really starting to come alive. And I'm hearing you pick up, ooh, there's a harmony change. Ooh, it's great. Keep going. Sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you. So for me, this sounded very similar to the dynamic you played kind of around, in the beginning. And I think maybe that means you have to play the first passage a little softer, but here just maybe make it like more deliberate. Does that make sense? Instead of sounding like, oh yeah, it's just kind of mezzo.
Gotcha.
Or like, what does that mean that Copland wrote mezzo forte and wrote the beginning piano? How I would interpret that is, okay, this is clearly much more extroverted. And also, if you look at the accompaniment, there's a lot more going on. Also, in an orchestra, there are a lot more people playing, right? So you just think about things like that. Try it again. Good. Again, I think you can do more of the tenutos. There's a tenuto on the downbeat of 25 and in 30. I don't know if I can demonstrate, but I'll try. You know what I mean? Just do something. Maybe it doesn't have to be, or it could be. Clearly it's an important note, right? So I think, yeah, just try it again and think about deliberately what you want to do with that. way better. Again, remember, it's always the why first. That's the number one. And then the technical, you know, we talked about during the festival, but for those of you that don't know, I mean, this is an essential element of Professor Galad's teaching, you know, is to be a great musician first and think about the why first. And how we, you know, first of all, we figure out the why, and then how we get the why is through the technical means and figuring out technically what we need to do to get that why. But if you don't have the why first, it's almost like you don't know why you're practicing, which obviously you know why you're practicing. You're doing great, but like, you know what I mean, right? Yeah. So you want to keep going, and I think don't play too loud. That'll be my first thought.
Okay, sure.
All right, sure, yeah, keep going. So we only have 10 more minutes. For a sec. I think you can definitely do more diminuendo into 47. I thought it was good how you, it wasn't too loud. I think you can, from my taste, play a little softer, because then when you get to the mezzo forte E, it really, and also you kind of did this instinct, you know, with your instinct, which I think is great. Before crescendo, come away a little bit, like when that also happens in 32. You did it, but I think you can do even more, again, because it's setting up this long arc. And I would maybe not crescendo into 45. I wouldn't go. I would go. I mean, because I think the real high note is the E, and also there's no crescendo mark. I mean, I get it, you want to move it forward, but do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then I think you can, yeah, play softer. So do you want to start maybe? You want to keep going?
Yeah.
Really good. It was beautiful when you played really soft. That was awesome. Think about, this is like a good example of how you can really dig into the music and say, you know, look at all these weird accidentals, harmony changes, really dig into that. I mean, I'm assuming Copland wrote that because he wanted to be expressive, right? So, you know, really lean into that, especially in 47. You know, I'm not doing a terrible job, but you know what I mean? Again, the tenuto, dee-da, dee-da, really, and also if you give more air on the bottom note, the top note will just float right out. Yeah, something like that, I don't know. Can you try it from 45? Mm-hmm. Really good. Great. One thing I will say is this forte sounded very similar to a lot of the earlier dynamics I heard in the piece, or like the mezzo forte, the other mezzo fortes, or when you crescendo a little bit. But to me, I mean, if you don't agree with me, that's totally fine. I mean, this is about your interpretation, but the way I see it is that this is clearly the high point so far. It's not only the loudest printed dynamic, but musically it makes sense, right? So I think that what that means is if you want that to be the high point, you really need to make it intentional. And then also you need to kind of put everything else in proportion to that. Does that make sense? Yeah, but otherwise, again, remember saying ooh, eu, ooh, when you get up into the high register. It was good, really beautiful, but I think you can do even more of that to create more, resonance. And, the tenutos, I think, are opportunities for expression. So we only have about 5 minutes left. Do you want to keep working on the first movement, or do you want to play a little bit of the
Yeah.
cadenza?
Oh, I don't need to play the cadenza.
Okay, all right. Let's
Unless
maybe
you don't have anything else to say.
no, I don't. We can
Okay.
keep working on it, definitely. Maybe do you want to do like 50 going into that high part, or you can start at the
Yeah.
beginning of the crescendo, wherever, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Again, sorry, can you do it again? I
Yeah.
think I think it's too loud for
Oh,
my
yeah.
taste. It's it's too loud. Yeah, you can do it even more. It's really special, especially we went from C major
Maybe I should
to
get
C.
into it a little bit.
Yeah, maybe do forget it. Why don't you just start before 40? It's fine. Really sucks. Really good. Beautiful. Again, I think you can have more direction in this part. In where it's somewhat faster. I mean, the tempo speeds up, the accompaniment becomes more active. I just want more active intent. Really, let her rip. I think this is and then I was going to say one other thing. Sorry to go back a little bit. Oh yeah, just generally speaking in this opening part, think about, the accompaniment. Beam, bum, beam, bum. It's almost like a lullaby or like a slow waltz that's like suspended. And then you come in with all this interesting juxtaposition of the rhythm, not on the beat, beat, it's like this floating, you know what I mean? Like this float, and it makes it feel even more kind of breathless and floating. So think about even just the shape, the physical shape of the line, how that informs. Okay, well then I want this effect. Then what do I need to do technically to achieve that? Which you're basically doing. I mean, the technique I think is good, and it's pretty legato. I think it's smooth. I just think it needs a lot more musical intent. Especially, I mean, because yeah, if you play smooth, people are kind of like, well, yeah, so what, right? But if you play really, I mean, with such intent, and you really capture the spirit of the music, and are really singing, if one note doesn't come out, people might not even notice, right? So, and also when you have a clear direction from a practical standpoint, it makes the intervals much easier to come out because there's a lot of air circulating through the instrument. So it's both musically, I think, more interesting, and technically makes it easier, right? So, and yeah, again, just think about shape, setting up everything, you pacing. I should be able to dictate what you did instead of being, not totally sure. And I wouldn't say it wasn't totally sure last time, but it wasn't as clear cut as I would have liked.
I have a
So
question.
yeah, sure.
So at 52,
Mhm.
it's marked faster, but it's marked with those tenuto marks.
Yeah.
How can I like bring the expression out of that without slowing it down?
I think it has to do with the amount of air and the quality of air you put into the notes, and also you might even, I mean, you can even lightly articulate it, beep, beep, beep. You know what I mean? Really kind of. You don't have. I mean, you can still give expression to tenuto notes without slowing down. You know, think about the quality or the articulation or the intent of the phrase that could lead to avenues for expression that maybe will not result in slowing down. I know we have to stop now, but great job. Okay, sounds really great. Great job. Right.
Bravo, Juliana. Excellent playing. Thank you for playing. And Juliana is a graduate student, right, at the Eastman School?
Correct.
Excellent. Yeah, sounds beautiful, Juliana.
Thank you.
And thank you,
I have
and
to hop off the class. I'm sorry.
sorry, what was that?
I have to leave the class to get to a rehearsal, but thank you so much.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for playing again.
Yeah, nice to see everyone. Bye.
Bye. And Andrew is one of our faculty members at Clarinet Maestro Festival, and he is also the bass clarinetist of the Dallas Symphony Orchestra. And Eric, who you'll be hearing from after Katie, is the associate principal and E-flat clarinetist of the Toronto Symphony Orchestra. So, Katie, if you want to get ready, Katie is a undergraduate, right, at Cincinnati Conservatory?
Yes.
Excellent. And she's going to be playing a piece that I really enjoy, Shulamit Ron's For an Actor. And this was written for Laura Flax, the late, unfortunately late Laura Flax. She died 3 years ago, was the former principal clarinet of the City Opera in New York. And she was a fantastic player. I believe my mom is a clarinetist too, and she went to school with Laura. This is just a great piece. Yeah, so if you want to take it away, I will mute myself and go for it, Katie.
Do you want me to sound check first?
Yes, please. Sounds good to me.
Okay.
mind if we stop there?
Sure.
Excellent, excellent job. It's quite an undertaking, this piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic. So I want to just talk about a couple things, just little things here and there. In the very beginning, it's marked very slow, quarter note equals 44 to 46. I think you should take it a little bit faster. I like to think of eighth notes here. So an eighth note would be like 88, something like that. I like the mood that you're setting. I think it's really kind of secluded and kind of dark and shady. This beginning, I guess, kind of lonely, because this is a monologue for clarinet, right? So I like that, but I think some of the points that she's making, if you play it that slow, don't kind of come across.
Okay.
So can you try just the very beginning, just the first line or so, a little bit faster? So. Beautiful. So, and she writes bell-like, right? So, and also it's a piano dynamic. I think it's just a little bit too loud. Can you try it just a little softer? Excellent, excellent. Okay. I think overall, sometimes you get ahead of yourself in some of these passages, and there are, I know everybody else can't see the music right now, but there are some really nasty licks here, and things that, brackets that tell you to go faster, start slow and go kind of as fast as you can. And I think if you take a tempo that you can play the notes cleanly and speak every note, give a little bit more air to each and every note, especially when it gets fast and gets even faster and faster and faster, that would suit you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth bar, can you start there, play maybe those 3 bars and keeping that in mind a little bit. Excellent, excellent. That was better. It was more in control, and you can kind of decipher each note more now, right? Mm-hmm. One thing I would say is, again, the beginning here. I'm not going to attempt to play that, but maybe start just a little bit. Something a little bit less. And then when you get to the second line there, actually, why don't you play the beginning and I'll stop you when you get to the second line. So Katie, that little 10 tuplet figure, can you support more of the middle of that scale, starting with that E flat and the B? Give just a little bit more air, not overblowing. Keep the air focused, but just to give a little bit more to there. So start maybe on the C before that, the forte. Good.
Yeah, I always have that issue in the middle of that run.
Okay, so can we try D da 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 D da da da? Can you hold that E flat and just have the E flat be the loudest or give the most air in that point? Yeah. Try it one more time. Okay, and then try it again at tempo. Good. You know, the way I have it bracketed here is kind of almost 16th notes, the way I have the slurs. So maybe that'll help your eyes if you start a slur on the E flat going to the low F.
Okay.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you try one more thing? Can you play an E flat and give me an air accent? So I should scratch that. Play like with air accents in between each note. So what I'm doing is a kind of a diaphragm accent, no rearticulation or anything like that. Try that. Good. Try one more time. Good. And try the passage slowly without the diaphragm accents. Yeah, that's better. Try it one more time. Excellent. Yeah, now you're actually giving, I can hear the air on that E flat. It's much better now. Great. I wanted to say a little bit about contemporary pieces like this. You know, there's so much in this that's not really very organized. And, you know, I didn't get to hear you play the whole thing, and we'll probably have some more time to go over it for you to play some more. But, you know, for the listener, with all these figures, you have to communicate something that makes sense to the listener. It's almost as if you're, you know, contemporary pieces, you're kind of playing or speaking a different language, like a foreign language. And this is, you know, a prime example of that, where it's, you know, a lot of this piece doesn't really make sense to the listener. So, you know, what she writes in the beginning of the piece, she kind of explains it a little bit. It's kind of in sonata form. There's an exposition with 2 parts, and then there's a development, and then a cadenza within the development, and then there's kind of a little bit of a recap or coda-like thing. So with pieces like this, you know, you have to make the sections really clear, like as if you're telling a story, and it's kind of like a story in, you know, whatever language, like German language or something that you don't understand, let's say. So the kind of characters that you portray have to be very clear. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. What is your interpretation? What is your idea of the first kind of development section here?
So I kind of look at this like it's like loosely in sonata form, because that main four note melody comes back on the second page. Um, to me, this whole piece is like, I mean, it's for an actor, but I kind of see somebody on stage, like an actor on stage, giving like a speech, and it's very like they're talking and then they're yelling and they're kind of jumping all over the stage. Like it's very dramatic and almost like Shakespeare in a way. Like there's a lot of different emotions going on in this person.
Yes, I completely agree. Yeah, and it's kind of it's very eccentric, very kind of bipolar, almost like the Nielsen Concerto, but even more so.
Yeah, I'm actually playing this on the same recital as Nielsen
Oh, really?
later. So yeah.
So a lot of kind of bipolar pieces that you're playing. Great. So okay, let's. Can I hear that second section that you're talking about on the second page where it kind of repeats that beginning section? Good. And just one little rhythmic thing here. With these with these quarter note triplets, how are you subdividing those?
I'm trying to subdivide in the quarter notes to hear triplets and then kind of subdividing them by triplets.
Okay, very good. Yeah. I didn't really hear that, but you were being a little more free in that section. Maybe it should just be a little bit more rhythmic so I can hear that rhythm distinctly. Excellent, excellent, excellent. One other thing I want to just talk about really quickly, that the low E's are one of the most unfocused notes on the clarinet. And Yehuda likes to talk about the 3 points. So the first is the air, the point of the air, which should be, if you have a coffee straw, do you have a coffee straw by chance?
I have a plastic straw. I have one like this.
Okay, that should be pretty good. So when you blow into the straw, if you blow the beginning of this, you're not going to be blowing more than the circumference of this straw when you blow into the straw.
Mm-hmm.
And with the clarinet, you kind of have to incorporate that into your playing as well. It can't be too wide. It always has to fit in a kind of straw circumference. So that's the point. That's the first point. The other two are the point of the embouchure and the point of the tongue. The tongue has to be high on the reed, has to go away from the tip of the reed. So with the point of the air, can you, with the straw, just blow some air into the straw, just the beginning, that first line, and finger while you blow into the straw. And pay special attention when you get to the E, not to kind of let the air go.
Okay, so you want from the quarter notes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. And just one little thing that I noticed on these bell-like figures, when you come away, you lose a little bit of the air support.
Okay.
Okay, so make sure you sustain it even more when you kind of fade out. Try that on the clarinet now. Excellent. Just move. That sounded beautiful. I wanted to hear a little bit more, but that was really excellent. Okay. Can you go to the third page?
Mm-hmm.
That third line there. We're running a little bit low on time. We have a couple minutes left. Can you go to that third line? And do the same exercise with the straw, and you know this really works well with a coffee straw. By the way, if you can maybe go. I know it's a pandemic right now, but order some online. They're really cheap and they really work wonders.
Okay.
So try and fingerize while you blow into the straw. So actually play with the finger on the clarinet while you blow.
Oh, okay.
And sorry, and the next line and just those two lines, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Start from the second line. Excellent. Now, can you play it? Good. So again, try not to get ahead of yourself. This is really, an unaccompanied piece. So you can feel free to take, even she says, in the beginning, follow when you're first practicing this, follow the rhythm. But as you get to know it, you can be more free, and whatever you can play is what you should play. Whatever your fingers, as long as they don't get ahead of themselves, whatever you can play it at that tempo. Try it one more time. Really keeping that focused air, like the straw, that point of the air. Excellent, excellent, excellent. That was really quite good, actually. Okay, I think we're out of time. Is that right? Okay. So just a couple things I want to leave you with here. Obviously I didn't hear the whole thing. I only heard, right before the cadenza. But starting with this cadenza, I would treat it like a cadenza, as if it almost sounds like the orchestra has gone away and there's no more accompaniment. I can hear that in this cadenza. And I would treat it like kind of a special moment like that.
Okay.
Obviously, there's all these crazy multiphonics and whatnot that just are, whatever. But so all the way up until, I think the next section is right after that super high, what is it, a super high C? Yeah, super high C. Right after that is when the new section begins, and that's kind of like almost the recap until we get to the coda at the end.
Right.
That makes sense. So, really plan this out, plan out your characters that you want to have. and and try to communicate this to the audience. Try not to get ahead of yourself. Try to play a tempo that you can play where you can play every single note or most of the notes. Anyway,
Yeah.
I know I can't play every single note. So, but yeah, beautiful job. I think we're out of time. It was a pleasure to hear you, and hope everything is okay with you and your family.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, so now Noah Jung is he is in the Colburn Academy. He's in high school, right? And you will be playing the Spohr Concerto number 4. And I'd like to reintroduce Eric Abramovitz, who's one of our esteemed faculty. And he's in the Toronto Symphony Orchestra, associate principal and E-flat clarinet. So without further ado.
Thank you, sir. Noah, you want to do a quick mic test? Okay, at first it seemed like it was way too quiet, but then it evened out. Maybe you could turn it up a tiny bit? Because yeah, I can't hear you talk. Can everyone hear me all right? Ben, am I coming in clear?
Can you hear me?
All right, yes, I can.
Yes, I can hear everybody.
It might be really soft because.
Okay, you know what? It's okay. If your voice is soft, you're not going to sing the piece, right? So we can hear the clarinet well. So whenever you're ready, Noah. Awesome. Noah, great playing. Some really beautiful things. That's all you prepared, right?
I can play more if you want.
No, that's great. That's great. Really, some beautiful playing, and I don't have too much to say, but I'll try to offer a few tips to make it even better than what it was. So right off the bat, the opening was absolutely beautiful. You know, it's just pizzicato in the orchestra, and the way you entered, I could really tell that you were hearing that in your head, and that was like a great dynamic. You left yourself a lot of room to grow. So, you know, because it's such a high level in general, let's work on some little details here. If I bring you to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the sixth measure when you're up on that C.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like sometimes in general when we have these diminuendos, you're giving up on it a little bit soon. So you got up to the C and you were a mezzo forte, and then right away I felt like there was a bit of a drop in support. You know, you got up there, and then the 16th note's on the way down. I still wanted you to sing through those more. And then, you know, we still have room to go down once we get to the B flat and the trill on the C. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So can you just take it from me from the opening again? And when you get there, really sing through those 16th notes. Yeah, exactly. Just, yeah, keep going, keep going. Yeah, great, Noah. So that's, once again, this is another spot where we just finished, where I felt like, at least through on Zoom, it sounds like you're already at a very low dynamic when you get to that those triplets starting on the low F sharp. And I really think that still, you know, we're in our lowest register, and we're still, I want us to be thinking of like a baritone singing this. So still we want to have a resonant sound going through there. You know, on the clarinet it's so easy, especially in the low register, to get a very pleasant sound, but like not particularly resonant in the low register. You know, like it's a fine sound, but it's not going to project at all. You know, we really want to keep the core of that sound, and we have to try a little bit harder in the low register to do that. So, you know, once you get to that E flat D G, then you can bring it down, but still don't let us go yet. Take it from the low F sharp and then the trill on the A. Yeah, great. Now the next, the first line of the next page, you know, we get a lot of these like gestures in Spohr's concertos, of these chromatic gestures, and you know, it's easy for it to sound just like we're practicing our chromatic scale. So we really have to make an effort to like highlight the musicality out of it, and really just like it's not a melodic thing; it's a gesture. So really make us feel like we're just following. You know, it's kind of like this big sigh. So it's better not to think of it just metronomic. Like I always like to take a little bit more time on the top and kind of like, as the momentum goes, start tumbling down. But then, of course, we want to recapture the interest on the last group of 16th notes that leads us into the triplets. You know what I'm talking about? Because then we return to some real melodic content there. So it's important to know when it's, you know, just this kind of gestural movement, and when we want to re-engage the interest for melodic content. Go ahead on the just on the beginning of the second page. Yeah, great note, but there I felt like you were leading me to the G sharp.
Yeah.
And that's good, but I think we really want to lead to the C of the next measure, right? So that's, I think, the destination. Yeah, no, I'll stop you right there. Great, that was better on the chromatic scale. Now, right where we stopped, you know, we have this these triplets, chromatic triplets going down. But right when we land on the B flat, we go from, our role changes. All of a sudden, we were kind of just accompanying and decorating. And right away, now we're back with the melody there. And this time, we have it in major, unlike in the minor in the opening. So this is just a suggestion of mine. You know, the way you played the staccato eighth note in the opening, now just because it's major and it's a little bit more jolly, I would like make the staccato even more bouncy. And once again, like we have the melody now, but the orchestral part is a little bit thicker, and we're in a bad register. So we don't want to leave the resonant zone of sound. So it means, you know, if our airstream is like a cylinder, we want to think of it as like trying to make it as narrow and like rich and dense as possible. And it means that the corners, and we're thinking of like a grip around the mouthpiece, like a circle with equal pressure coming from every direction. So to get to the resonant zone, we just need to make sure the support is there, but also that the airstream is dense enough and fast enough to keep the core in those low notes. Okay, why don't you just take it from that chromatic scale going down to that again. Noah, great. I'll stop you right there. Man, it's getting pretty dark where I am, huh? I know I have a lamp right there, but it's unplugged, so it's actually just for show. But you can see me well enough. And as long as you can hear me, that's what matters. So yeah, at this, it's kind of pesky, this. I think what can make it easier is if we're really aiming for the D flat and thinking a bit of a tenuto on it. It sounds like both times you played it, you know, because we're anticipating this difficult jump to the high F, you're rushing through that D flat. So really use the D flat as an anchor. And then, you know, to really try to sing through all these notes, because this is the only triplet run that it sounds to me a bit like you're rushing through it. All the other ones, you're singing through them beautifully. And of course, this is the most challenging one, so I get why you're doing it. But if we really think to sing through all these notes and, you know, establish the support where needed for these big intervals, why don't you just take that measure slowly? Da, 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 da. Try that again. Yeah, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Yeah, go ahead and take it from there in tempo. Yeah, just gonna stop you right there, Noah. Sounds great. It seems to me like you're mistreating these triplets here. They sounded like 16 notes to me. Dum, ba ba bum. Make sure da 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 dum. Okay, that's just small rhythm thing. All right, take it from the low F, and really think when you get to the top of these to lean into the high D flat. All right, think a bit of a tenuto on them. Da 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 da. Okay. Yeah, great, Noah. Once again, this is one of those places where you're possibly letting me down too early. It could be the mic on Zoom, but you know, we have the pianissimo G flat. So really, until then, let's maintain the interest. You know, really, just wait until we get there. Don't let us down too soon. Okay, carry on from where you were.
Oh, so go on.
Yeah. Great, Noah. So this, around where we just were, you know, we have these E naturals with the sforzandos, and then we get the E flat, which is such a special moment in the harmony. And I think we can be a lot more affectionate with that. You know, it's such a special note there. So really be a little bit more tender with it. And for these figures of the dotted eighth with the 16th, they sound quite good. The second one, you know, we always have to make sure that they don't come off as triplety, da-dum, da-da, and not da-da, da-da, and they can be easy to fall into that trap. So right on, like the dolce on the D, think like on the second beat of the half note D, that like, you know, let's say I was about to throw a ball into your stomach, you would immediately like flex your abdominal region.
Yeah.
So think like, let's say on the second quarter, dum, da, dum, dum, and it just helps like pop out these 16th notes. Obviously we don't want to give an air accent, but like to think about, like in preparation for these da 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 da, it's important to have a very engaged core, because like these little puffs of air that we give on these triplets, they need like a solid ground to jump off of. It's like if you were in the water standing on a canoe, it wouldn't be wise to jump, because you wouldn't really be able to jump off, because like the force that you exert on it, it wouldn't be able to exert that same force back to you. So we want to provide like a solid floor for our air to jump off of, rather than a soft floor that it can't, you know, get right off of, and then, you know, you get response issues and the notes not coming exactly where we want them. So whenever we have stuff like that, we always want to make sure our support is as engaged as possible. So yeah, take it again from me from that dolce. Yeah, great, Noah. Sounds great. In general, whenever we have these 16th notes passages, we have to really try our best to get it to sound as musical as possible and not like an etude. You're not doing that, but I think that it could also help you if you really pick certain notes to anchor on and to possibly tenuto. Like when we get to the second to last line of the page, you have the F, the D, the B flat, the A. And those are all the high points of those little waves. So really to have notes that we're leaning on. And also I think what's really a helpful trick that I picked up from James Campbell, who teaches at Indiana University, is to always think of these 16th notes as, instead of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's more 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And he has a saying, it's I go to there, I go to there, I go to there. So a perfect example of I go to there is like on the last line. There I go to, there I go to, there I go to, there. If you think of the opening of the Mozart quintet. There I go to, there I go to, there. So it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, but rather 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So in general, when we have these 16th note passages, to keep the momentum and the flow through them, and so that they don't really come off as vertical sounding, really think the momentum going through the group, the 2, 3, and 4 of each group of 4. All right, and then when we get to these diminished arpeggios, I think it could be a bit more dramatic, especially if you kind of give us a tenuto on the high E. Maybe the first time less, the second time more, and just rip down them. Because melodically it's not interesting. So once again, when it's about the gesture, we want to do something with it that'll bring interest to it rather than just playing through the notes. Go ahead and take it from the diminished arpeggios.
So, kind of, what did you say to noodle?
Yeah, like so maybe on the high note. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be like metronomically in rhythm. You know, it's more of a gesture. Da 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 da. That's just an idea, you know. That's beautiful and great high B flat. Ben, how are we doing on time?
Got about 1 minute, 2 minutes left.
Okay. One thing, just to backtrack a little bit, Noah, especially at this on the first line of this last page that we're doing, second half of it. Let's try to think of these as groups. So every group, like really intensifying, you know? So like, we want to try as hard as we can to illustrate that. You know, really dramatic. Yeah, try again. Try it even more dramatic. Just you know, go crazy. Yeah, I really like that because it felt like you were taking a little bit more time establishing every group. You know, really outlining this chromatic ascending line on every 2 beats, you know? So I'd encourage you to keep that. But once again, these are just ideas, Noah, for you to ultimately, you know, make up your own mind about how you want to play it. It's already sounding so great, so bravo, and just keep going. All right, good stuff.
Bravo, Noah, and thank you, Eric, again. Everybody sounded so good. I want to thank Woodwind Fest and Sarah and Andrew and Eric and Juliana, Katie, Noah for your beautiful playing. For those of you who would like to kind of know more about us, you can check out our website, clarinetmaistrofestival.org. And if you'd like to know all the latest with our festival, you can send us an email at clarinetmaistrofest@gmail.com. So, we offer lessons, master classes, usually 2 to 3 lessons in the festival with each of our faculty members. We have 8 faculty members in total. So there are many different perspectives on kind of the same theme. We're all Yehuda's former students, and Yehuda himself is also one of our teachers at the Clarinet Maestro Festival. You could also you check us out on Instagram and Facebook and follow us there. We have a YouTube page now also with some of our faculty and student concerts on there. And we offer different classes such as clarinet fundamentals, clarinet technique, audition preparation, performance anxiety, auxiliary classes, E-flat clarinet, bass clarinet, and different workshops. We really try to create a community with our students and their teachers. That's one thing that we really kind of have in common is with Yehuda, we're really just one big family. There are students that will kind of, former students of his that will meet maybe in auditions that studied with him 20 years ago. And we just like instantly connect and have something to talk about and kind of have this very friendly nature about each of us. So we're here for all of you, and if you'd like to know more about us, check out those things. We are planning to have a winter session. Right now, these dates are TBD, but January 2nd to January 10th. And it'll be kind of a 3-part session to kind of fit our schedule into all our students' schedules. So there'll be 2 weekends for those who can't make it during the week, the Monday through Friday. And if you can make it to the whole thing, then that's great. Does anybody have any questions for us from the attendees? And I believe that you can chat if you'd like, or if Noah or Katie, would you like to say anything about the festival? Maybe your experience with it?
Can you hear me?
A little bit. If you can speak up just a little bit more.
Okay, I changed my microphone. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, for me, it was a great experience. It's very unique. I've never experienced anything like that before. Really, it helped me think about like why, like instead of just doing what your teacher would say, really thinking about the meaning behind it. I feel like it adds a layer of depth to everyone's playing, and so I really appreciated it.
Excellent.
Yeah, I had a really great time. It was really nice to do something over the summer when we were all kind of trapped at home. And it was really cool to just see a lot of people play, a lot of teaching, and get a lot of really good ideas in a short amount of time. Because especially in the middle of the summer, I think I started going crazy just doing nothing and just being alone in my room practicing. So it was nice to hear like other people's musicality and sound and remember that I'm not just one person floating out in nowhere and there are other people that are playing. So it was really fun.
Great. I'm glad that you both had such a great time. I know I had a great time. I think I can speak for all the faculty in saying that as well. Andrew and Eric, would you like to say something?
I mean, it was yeah, like you guys know, it's a lot of fun. You get to see Ben. I mean, for me, it's a great treat to see Ben and Andrew, and this is just, you know, some of the faculty, you know. So there are other very famous people as well, and it's just, you know, it's fun to have a community of people to bounce ideas off of, you know. For me, you know, being in when I was in school, just hearing people play, going to studio class, being in that kind of community was really like motivating for me. And some days I'd wake up and I was like, you know, I don't feel like practicing at all. Next thing you know, I go to studio class, and then like I'm just like dying to get to the practice room after that. It has that effect of just like it rubs off on us. So if nothing else, I think being in an environment like that just helps motivate us and reminds us, you know, why we love it.
Absolutely. I second Eric big time. I would definitely say, I think the most special thing about Clarinet Maestro Festival is, again, we have this common bond. You know, we've taken this really master teacher and his wisdom, and it's about how in real time, the perspectives of one person can be changed. We have the same root, but they can be changed immensely through the perspectives of 7 or, you know, 8 different people, and we're all rooted in the same thing. But I think what's really cool is to see not only how different each teacher is and how their voice has really come alive, but also seeing that that's a product of Mr. Gallant's teaching, is that it's all about finding your voice and your approach to musicianship or to music, and just having a holistic approach to music and developing your musicianship, I think is really valuable. Of course, we talk about clarinet, but also it's about being a great musician and why we're doing this and how we become an artist. And yeah, again, a really holistic approach to music through very interesting perspectives. I think it's really great.
Yes, beautifully said. I would be remiss if I didn't introduce Linda Numagami, who helps out on administration work and all that. Linda, would you like to? Yeah, there you are.
Hi, it's great to see everyone again and hear everyone. Just beautiful. I think you just had one question in the comments about what mouthpieces you guys play, because you sound so beautiful. So,
What do you play on, Ben?
I'm playing on a BD5 13 series Van Doren right now. What about you, Eric?
You know, I go back and forth between the BD5 and the B40 Lyre. I find that for solo playing and chamber music, there's a warmth in the BD5 that I like. But when it comes to the orchestral playing, and when I feel like I need something that's gonna like carry a little bit more and has some more high frequencies in the sound, then I tend to go for the B40 Lyre. What about you, Andrew?
I play B40 Lyre, both on clarinet and bass clarinet, but I think maybe the person asking the question can clarify. I think they were talking about the students, right? Noah, Katie, what do you guys play on?
I play on an M15.
Great.
An M15.
Sounds really great. Noah, what about you?
Yeah, I'm the same as Eric. I switch between the B40 Lyre and the BD5. Yeah, because when I first went to the Colburn Academy, Yehuda asked me to change to the B40, and both of them are really great mouthpieces. I like to switch between them.
We're big fans of Van Doren. We're not sponsored. This is not spun
We're
content.
big nerds right now.
Yeah, right.
You know, this is it. What a ride. Clarinet is talking about gear. As nerdy as it gets.
Great. Well, I think that's all the time we have. If anybody has any other questions, you can speak now or forever hold your peace. Or you can
I object.
You can email us or check out our website or follow us on Facebook and Instagram, whatever you choose. So yeah, I'd like to thank you all again for playing and for teaching, and thank you, Sarah, and the Woodwind Fest 2020. It was nice to play for all of you and to hear you guys, and yeah, I'd look forward to hearing from you in the future. Take care, guys.